4:46 on the drive. It's a Wednesday. Joining me this afternoon, Scott Hoeppner from Thompson, Dorfman, Sweatman. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, Lori. How are you?
Great. We've been talking so much about H1N1 from all the different angles, and there's one angle that hasn't been talked a whole lot about, and that is preparedness in the workplace, and not just about doing it, but about what the responsibility is of the workplace to do this. So can you speak to that for us?
Absolutely. Well, like you said, I think we've heard a lot about people's concerns in terms of what's safe and what's not safe and how to take care of yourself. But an issue that typically gets overlooked, and as a lawyer, we have a totally different perspective on it. There's a number of obligations and rights that arise out of this. For example, the Workplace Health and Safety Act. Employers have obligations under that Health and Safety Act, and it raises other issues regarding wages, when or when not employees may come to work or may be sent home. So there's actually a lot of things that you don't necessarily think about.
And like you say, there are obligations. So it's not about just getting the information and thinking, oh, this is something that, I really should do for my employees. This would be, good corporate citizenship. This is actually something that they really almost must do. Is that correct?
Well, if it's under the Workplace Health and Safety Act, absolutely. But, for example, in Ontario during the SARS epidemic, the SARS was seen as a disability under the Human Rights Act. I mean, if we go in that same direction again with H1N1, there's going to be a whole lot or additional obligations that are going to arise there as well.
So what kind of things are we looking at here that employers should be doing?
Obviously it's going to have to be tailored to every specific employer. So in that case, we'd encourage them to call us. But like I said, there could be obligations under the Human Rights Act if you have a sick employee. You might also see issues of absenteeism, and they might have questions in terms of how they're going to deal with this employee who's absent from the workplace.
I know that actually here at our workplace, we actually have a committee which has a number of members on it.
Right.
And, they deal with all these different issues. And when I first saw that, I thought, wow. Is this really necessary? But really, it's been great, because if something actually does come up, we're all kind of sitting in pause mode now, waiting to see. And then it's good to actually be prepared before you're scrambling around trying to make this happen after the fact.
Absolutely. I mean, employers should be aware of these obligations. Of course, they should take the steps to do some pandemic planning of their own to deal with these issues before they arise, because when you're in the middle of it, you're going to be dealing with situations you didn't think of, you might not have prepared for. But if you've thought about this ahead of time, everyone will be way more prepared. You'll be able to deal with everything in a smooth manner. And in terms of legal obligations, hopefully they've contacted us or their own legal advisor and, are apprised of the issues that are going to come up and are prepared to meet those.
Because this, if things do happen and employers are not prepared, this could, arise in some kind of legal action or complaints or whatever in the future, right, depending on what happens.
Absolutely. Like I said, with SARS, if it's similar to that and, it goes that way, if you have these obligations under the Human Rights Act and you don't accommodate the employee properly, you're going to run into some of these issues and you might have a human rights complaint on your hand.
All right. Lots of good information. Thank you, Scott, for joining me this afternoon.
Very welcome. Thank you, Lori.
That's Scott Hoeppner from Thompson, Dorfman, Sweatman on the drive on CJOB 68.